they get really pissed. See that horn up on that pole?
Yeah.
They turn that on, leave it on for like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
That is so obnoxious.
All right, so we're going down here.
Okay, I'm gonna just flip around.
Okay.
You want to go to that spot?
Hey, really appreciate you guys being here with me. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications, and jump on over to our Patreon page because we have a ton of exclusive content on our Patreon page. I'll see you over on Patreon, and let's jump back to this presentation. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Yuerg. You guys are awesome. We are literally right outside the gates here at Area 51, and wait until you hear about this cutting-edge radar jamming technology. Right.
I'm going to tell you guys about that offline.
Right. But so what's going on right now? Tell us what's going on right now.
Right now we are listening to music out of Area 51, a music radio transmitter on 99.9 megahertz FM out of Area 51. This is a transmitter that they use. There's such a thing, they call it passive radar. Passive radar has the advantage that it cannot be detected. So normally a radar system emits a radar beam and detects the reflection, and based on the reflection it knows where the aircraft is that I'm trying to detect. But of course, if it emits a beam, that means that it can be localized, that it can be located. So the big thing with passive radar systems is that they use existing FM radio stations as a transmitter. So you have an FM station that happens to be in the area, used as a transmitter, and then you have a receiver that is passive in that it only receives signals, that it cannot be localized, that it can't be located. What they're doing right now, and that technology exists for probably about 10, 12, 15 years, maybe more. But now the big thing is, okay, the Russians have passive radar systems also. So what do we do about it? We want to jam them. So what they're doing right now at Area 51 is testing systems to jam these passive radar sites. The problem is we don't have a radio station anywhere near this area. This is a very sparsely populated area. We don't have a radio station. We don't have FM transmitters here. So what do? We build one. And that's exactly what this is. It's a radio transmitter that is only there for the sole purpose of testing military hardware to jam passive radar systems.
That's cool.
And one of these guys sits here by the back gate. Another one, transmitting on 99.1 megahertz, sits near Tonopah test range. I can receive that in Rachel kind of weak. If you guys come out here to Rachel, tune your radio to 99.9 megahertz. If you're lucky enough, you can pick it up, as we can right now.
And we're piping it right through the system.
Yeah, it's totally legal. There's no copyright on the music. In fact, and I'm not saying this to accuse anyone, I'm saying this as a joke. So please, folks listening to this on the other side, don't get it the wrong way. But in fact, this could be called a pirate radio station.
Yeah.
Because it's not a licensed radio transmitter.
Right. Well, see, this is the thing. They're on military property.
Yeah.
So they don't get their licenses from the FCC.
But they're transmitting onto public
land.
land.
They get their license from the government, not the Federal Communications Commission. The U.S. government has their own licensing agency.
And I'm not trying to make
right. But I'm saying
I'm not trying to make cause trouble for anyone. I'm just saying
cut it off.
Boys, it's just going into different.
Okay.
I like, they play. By the way, they play different styles of music, and I like when they get into the hard rock stuff.
Oh.
They got like 2 or 3 songs that I'm playing that at my house sometimes just for the hell of it.
Right.
It's cycled. Yeah, I think that's when it recycles. It's kind of the end of the tape, and then it goes back to the beginning of the tape.
So they're sending a signal through this, basically. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
That's code. That's in code.
That is right there that
not,
you're
not
hearing
through
right
the
there.
radio. No. The radio transmitter is just a generic, ordinary FM radio station.
Okay.
And then they're using a radar site. They're using that transmitter as a signal source for a radar site. That is what they call a passive radar system. But that's not really what they're testing right now. They're testing how to jam a passive radar systems. So they're flying while they're transmitting here, and while the radar site sits somewhere doing its passive thing, they're flying planes overhead. They try to jam this radio site. And I have one video on my YouTube channel where you can see the jamming, where you can see the, in the spectrum, what a normal FM radio station normally looks like. And all of a sudden, boom, you got all these spikes everywhere in the spectrum. Right. So you can see where they're jamming it. It's on my YouTube channel, dreamland-resort.com. It's right there. Check it out. I'm not BSing here. I'm telling the truth. You can see where the jamming comes on, and then one side of the spectrum goes down, the other side of the spectrum goes down. So that's what they're doing. They're jamming passive radar systems here. And that is one of the latest and greatest things that I can prove is happening at Area 51. Of course, there's a lot of other things happening at Area 51, but that's something I can prove. And I've spent quite a bit of time researching and getting it nailed down to where, okay, that's where it is. What we got dialed in here right now, by the way, is called Chalk Mountain.
Yeah, what I wanted you to do is go to that tower, the other tower that we can see from up around here somewhere that can see us.
Oh, Bald Mountain. Yeah,
Bald Mountain.
This is Chalk Mountain, and the road to Area 51 goes from the back gate over here, around the back side of Chalk. Let me zoom out a little bit. And
anybody stops and asks, we just like listening to Radio Area 51.